Welcome to my channel, Bring Peace into Your Life. I've been working with a lot of clients recently who have issues with their self-esteem and their self-worth. And I was looking at how we work with that and how I work with my clients, and I thought it would be good to put some things together so that I could maybe help some other people. So when we are looking at our self-worth, what happens is society teaches us to seek worth externally, that it's something that we must earn, win, or prove. We have to prove our worth to people and prove our worth to society. And when we get that message, it can be really difficult because we are always worrying about what other people think of us. However, regardless of success, failure, or external opinions, we are simply enough because we exist. We are all enough, but there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of judgment put on people. So building a strong relationship with yourself creates a foundation for a fulfilling life, and it creates a foundation for a self-worth and for a good opinion of yourself. It's a challenge to know your worth and actually believe it. As children, we accept our worth without question. As we know, when we watch children or we see children or we interact with our own children, they're very innocent. They're not bogged down by life. They just know that they're worthy and they don't have to question that. But as we grow, we start to question that core belief and we ask, am I really worth it? Or am I really worthy? And depending on the message that you're getting externally about your worth, that can really affect your self-esteem and your self-confidence and your self-belief that actually you are worthy. Society has convinced us that our worth is something to earn, win, or prove. We're expected to be experts in every area of our lives: jobs, family, hobbies, being a mother or a father. And many of us are constantly evaluating our work based on things outside of us. So it's looking at your worth based on what other people think of you and how you're accepted in society. In counselling, we call this the external locus of evaluation. So you evaluate yourself depending on how others see you, how society sees you, how you're treated. And it means that your value system is very much based on outside factors. So quite a lot of people I work with in my counselling, they throw themselves into their work. They are high achievers, they're perfectionists, and if things aren't going well at work, they feel really bad about themselves and they feel like they're failing because their value system says to them that I am worth something if I'm productive at work. I am worth something if I'm achieving at work and achieving targets. And that is something that quite a lot of people suffer from. But it can be all different things, like I have to be a perfect mum, I have to be a perfect housewife, the house has to be tidy, everybody has to be fed, I have to have everything perfect. And that is when you feel like you're being judged by other people. So your worth is based on the things that you can achieve and the things that you can do. So we tie our worth to our achievements. So getting good grades, getting a promotion at work, if we have a really healthy balance on our bank account, and it's all about what others think of us. And especially with social media, it's become a relentless pursuit of external approval. At times, no matter what we achieve, it can feel like it's not enough. Social media has a big part in this because we are online a lot of the time. And obviously, I'm telling you this in a video on YouTube, so you must be online looking at this or listening to this. But it is very difficult when you are looking at people outside of your life and comparing yourself to others, and especially when they seemingly have a perfect life. But what we only see is what people show on social media. And people don't put out or don't tend to put out the bad stuff. It's all the perfect pristine pictures where they might have taken 50 or 60 pictures to get that perfect picture. It's the perfect video, it's the perfect outfit, it's the perfect car, and it's all about appearances when really we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But just as being a human being, you are enough and you are worthy. But when we depend on the outside world for our sense of self-worth, our inner world becomes chaotic. We get stressed, we get anxious, we're on edge. The opinions of others become how we measure our value. And really, it's very easy to get into that trap, but your value should be coming from inside. You should be looking at why you're valuable in this world and why you're valuable to yourself and your family. So what I would like to look at is kind of reclaiming your self-worth. So our sense of self-worth shapes how we think, feel, and move through the world. It impacts our well-being and our resilience. What we need to look at is reflecting on what we feel determines our self-worth. How do you see yourself? Do you seek validation from others? Question how you value yourself. So all of us will be different, but if you can take a step back and think, why am I doing that? Where does that come from? Have I been told that I have to be perfect? Have I had high expectations on me as a child? And it's about looking at where that comes from and really questioning that. So if I can't play the violin, am I worthless? If I can't cook in a certain way, am I worthless? Well, really, no, you're not. You are someone who maybe would like to learn those things and learn those skills, and that's something that you can do if you want to. But it's about looking at, why are you being so down on yourself? Why are you not feeling valued or valuable? And it's really important to question those thoughts. So another thing that's very important is your inner dialogue. So quite often when I work with people who have self-worth issues, their inner dialogue is extremely negative. So they'll say, I'm not worth doing this for, or I'm a rubbish mother, I'm a terrible wife, I'm a horrible partner, I'm a bad friend. And their negative self-talk is very, very loud. And what happens is, the more we talk to ourselves in that way, and the more we talk to ourselves without empathy and kindness, it becomes the norm. So very much we focus on the negative, and that can be really difficult. So challenging your inner critic is really important. Listen to your inner voice and what it's telling you. Think about, is this right? Is this a true reflection of me? And try and change the narrative. So if it's, I'm rubbish at playing the cello, so you think, well, actually, am I rubbish at playing the cello? No, I'm a beginner and I'm learning and I want to learn, and it's something that I will achieve with the effort that I put in. Or am I a bad friend because I cancelled plans with my friend? You're not a bad friend. Think about why you cancelled the plans. Were you overwhelmed? Were you stressed? Was there a lot going on? It doesn't mean that you're a bad friend. It means that you maybe need to make it up to that person. And when you are feeling ready to be in company, you make plans. So it's all about changing that negative to a positive. And it's about looking at who you are and who you're not. So use self-awareness to understand your strengths and areas where you need to grow, and be yourself. We're not perfect at everything. We all need to learn. And it's not like we get into a car and for the first time we get into a car we can drive and we're perfect. That's just not possible. So it's about looking at who you are as a person. If there are things that you need to change and work on, then work on them. If there's things that you're actually good at, then be positive about that and think about it in a positive way. You need to prioritise your well-being. So knowing your worth, and that you're worth taking care of, and valuing yourself in that way. So if we take care of ourselves, we feel more valuable to ourselves, and that can actually boost your sense of well-being and your sense of self-worth. A lot of the time we can say to ourselves we're not good at something or we're not deserving, but you need to balance that. So can you be a work in progress? We're all a work in progress. But even if you're a work in progress, you're still deserving of love and respect. And it's about putting that love and respect onto yourself and actually valuing yourself and building your self-worth so that you don't feel that you're less than. What I need you to hear is, you have always been enough, and it's time to reconnect with yourself and accept yourself and build that self-worth to a strong level. You are worthy and you are valuable, and that's never going to change regardless of how many promotions you get, how much money you make. how well you can make a lasagna. You are worthy and you're valuable as you are. So be yourself. Try and work on being yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. And when that happens and you do that, you will find other people that will be your people and that will accept you and value you as well. Thank you so much for listening to this video. If you got value out of it, please share in the comments what helps you with your self-worth, or even what has affected your self-worth. It's really interesting to look at what affects people and what could actually help. And if you comment, somebody might comment back or give you an idea of how you can actually improve your self-worth. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I really hope it helps you, and I'll see you in the next video.